All right, what's up, everybody? This is Daniel Barrett. How are you? I hope you're doing all right. I've been enjoying all this. Everybody's going live, everybody's doing stuff online, and I think it's pretty cool. Kind of a silver lining for this whole everybody self quarantining thing. So, I wanted to go live and talk a little bit about forcing functions because this is one of the most useful and practical concepts I know for getting more stuff done and being happier and being more productive. And it's really, really simple. And if I could really give everybody just kind of one thing, this would be the thing. And the reason I bring this up is because I actually do this in my everyday life. And so I'm going to demonstrate this in terms of what I'm doing, right? So recently, at the beginning of the year, I decided that I wanted to kind of change focuses a little bit. I still run my agency. I'm still heavy in the marketing space and the real estate space, but I wanted to start applying more of these ideas that I've been learning about rationality and mental models and productivity and all this kind of stuff. So, that'd been in my head for a long time and it wasn't getting out into the world. And the reason it wasn't getting out into the world was because life is kind of nuts, right? It's busy. Things are urgent. I have a business. I've got a team. I've got kids. I've got a wife. I've got a cat, right? I've got all this stuff that are going to grab my attention at any given time. And if you wait for the right time to do a thing, you're pretty much never going to do it. Right. And so whenever I'm in a situation like that, where I'm like, look, I want to add something new. I want to do something new that I'm not really used to. I don't really have a lot of systems for it. I don't really have a lot of processes for it. I don't even know if I'm going to like it. Right. The way I get it done is by introducing a forcing function. What is a forcing function? Just there's a technical definition for it. But for me, a forcing function is just something that forces you to function in a specific way, right? So for me, here I'll show you. So I wanted to get into write. I wanted to write more, primarily because I think that writing is one of the ways that we think are most clearly. We really hone our intellectual processes. We hone our ideas when we have to teach that idea and explain that idea to other people. So how is I going to get into the habit of writing when it's like, look, every day I get in the office and I'm busy. I got stuff to do. I've got team. I've got all these kind of marketing projects I want to do. So I introduced a forcing function. The forcing function for me is my blog, right? So I started a blog at nolessthan.com, right? And I said, okay, cool. This is the forcing function. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post on this blog once a week. And I pick kind of a process or, a pulse or whatever you want to do that I can actually execute on, right? So I'm like, once a week, I can do once a week, right? Similarly, I wanted to write a little bit about mental models and questions. So I started a mailing list, so the Better Questions mailing list. And the mailing list, I was like, every Wednesday, I will send out one question plus a little bit of context that's going to help people think a little bit more clearly. That's the commitment. So now every week when I come into the office, I know I've got two things I need to do. I need to do the blog post. I need to do a mailing list. And I do those things first. I do them the very first thing in the beginning of the week. I knock them out. Actually, this week I sort of did mine late. But I try to get it done as quickly as humanly possible. Why? Because if I get it done and I know like, hey, I got my most important thing out of the way, I sort of force myself to go down that path. And naturally what starts to happen is the rest of the things that come up in your life, you will start to pick and choose, right? I don't have time to do every single marketing project I can think of because I have these other things that I've sort of committed to doing, right? Similarly, right? I wanted to get help, practice consulting, right? So I was like, okay, can I take these concepts I've been writing about and use them to help people? So earlier in the week, I posted and I said, hey, I'm interested in kind of helping people who are working from home that might be having productivity issues. If you need help, let me know. We'll jump on a Zoom call, it'll be totally free. So I had 3 of those calls. I got another one tomorrow. And they've all gone amazingly. Like they went super well. The people on the other end of the call like really got a ton out of it. I was able to really find the ideas that I needed very quickly. And in the process of explaining it to them, I was able to kind of crystallize a little bit and saying, oh, okay, here's what I mean. Here's where this is useful, right? I'm learning. What is that? The whole reason I did the calls is because it's a forcing function to practice my consultation, right? It's a forcing function to practice explaining my ideas. It's a forcing function to practice diagnosing issues for people that I'm not used to or I don't know super well, right? And because it's on the calendar and because another person is expecting me to be there, I'm going to do it. Now, if I just say like I'm going to sit down and make a course or whatever without ever kind of touching base with any other people, maybe I get it done, maybe I don't. But the key to a forcing function for me is a public commitment. And everybody's a little bit different about how this works, but making a public commitment for me is what forces me to get off my ass. And in fact, look, I even did this. Here, I'll open this up. So earlier in the week, I think it was yesterday, I can't even remember. Let's see. So earlier in the week, I went on Twitter, right? And I posted this thing and I said, look, I'm going to record and release an EP before this whole quarantine thing is over. Blackwing and Giles Corey split 2 songs each, right? So I made a public commitment somewhere where people are going to see it. People are like, oh, cool, I'm excited about that. Almost immediately after that, what started happening is brain started working. So I was actually on Twitter almost immediately after making this tweet and ended up finding just a random thread that someone had posted saying, hey, if you're an illustrator, you know, and you're open for commissions, post here. I found 2 awesome illustrators that I really, really liked. I'd never heard of. And I hit them up and I was like, hey, you know, I know you're kind of looking for some commissions. It's sort of a weird time for you right now. Well, I'm interested in doing I'll do this EP. We'll do 2 album covers. And for like a couple $100, I got to give money to a cool artist and get artwork for this thing. The artwork itself is kind of like a forcing function because now that I have it, feels like a real thing. I'm much more likely to work on it. So whenever you're trying to do something that's new for you, you don't have a lot of systems, you don't have a lot of processes, you're not sure how to do it, right? Think about a forcing function. What is some kind of commitment, some kind of structure that you can give yourself that you are really committed to? Not just saying it to yourself, committed to other people, I think is the key. That's going to force you to do the daily work that's required to move you further and further along the line towards the goal. And if you start putting these things in place, man, it is incredibly powerful. And pretty soon you don't have to force yourself to do it. You just do it as part of your life, right? So I hope that's useful to you. If you're interested in the mailing list, it's nolessthan.com. You can click on Better Questions and get there. I'd love for you guys to check out the blog, check out the mailing list. I got like 200 people on there. But I just love feedback, man. It's so much fun to get out there and do a lot of this writing. And I'm proud of the work that I'm doing. And I hope that you are proud of the work that you are doing. I hope you are staying safe and healthy. Taya, how are you? I hope you're doing well as well. And I love you. I love you guys. I love everyone that watches this. And I'll talk to you soon. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.